Welcome back to the show. This is KDS Reviews. This particular episode came up from actually one of my viewers out here in the real world. They were saying, you cover a lot of movies, a lot, some documentaries. Do you ever do anything educational, any educational DVDs? I said, okay, you want educational DVDs? You got educational DVDs. Let's start off. Ken Burns, right here. The Civil War. Now, this right here, DVD, is actually what put Ken Burns on the map right here. It's a really good breakdown of not just all the main battles that we know of, like Gettysburg, but the complete story, did you hear from certain soldiers, the letters that they wrote back home in response, and some of the things that even Grant wrote down in his own notes. It's kind of the one that put Ken Burns on the map. Civil War. Let's see what we got with this box set. We got this mammoth here, DVDs. Another good little picture here. Good luck. All right, first part of it. And we got a second part here of it also. This is a really big show here. This is the thing that really made Ken Burns who he was. He's got real high ratings on it. I'm in the process of watching it. I'm not done all the way through yet. But this is the one that really did it for him. Not necessarily his best to me, but another big one right here. We got the booklet that also came with it. Right here. That's some historical things. You have Abraham Lincoln in there. Some other little pictures here, back and forth here. What we got here? Like a little booklet that came with it that ties in with the serial, the documentary. That's the Civil War. Up next, another Ken Burns one. Now, this is another one that's underrated to me that he did. And another one that's really educational. It shows how it started, and that's the National Parks, America's Best Idea, right here. Another one right here. It's really, to me, almost basically a story about Teddy Roosevelt, because a lot of these parks, especially the Grand Canyon, it's got a really good episode about the Grand Canyon in here. He really established a lot of these national parks right here, but it breaks it down, tells you about each one of them. There it is out of the box set right here. What we got on the inside? This box set CD right here. This would be really good to me if you have like a teenager, middle school, high school. These DVDs would be really good pickup for them. Backstory chapter right here. They're completely interesting. I really feel like, if you have a son or daughter, middle school, maybe just starting high school, these Ken Burns DVDs would be an excellent pick to get them, along with the Avengers. But still, the National Parks, America's Best Idea. This would be a good rewatch to watch with any of your kids. And then two, to me, right here, are the best ones, especially this one right here. It really should be required watching. Now, I've talked about this one before, but I think this ties into what we're talking about today. That's the U.S. and the Holocaust. This is a absolutely fascinating DVD here. An absolutely fascinating story, too. Because in this DVD here, we got a little advertisement there. PBS. Two-part. This is an incredible documentary to me right here, because the heroes aren't as heroic as you think, and the villains aren't quite as villainy, and the ones we think of as heroes aren't really the heroes we know and learn. He breaks this down really good. There is a segment in this documentary where you really get to see all the players, not just who started the Holocaust. We always think the Nazis, but how the other countries reacted to what was going on and the things they knew what was going on that you're not going to learn in the history books. This is documented really good. This right here should be in every classroom in the United States, if you want the truth. It should be required. He should have this not on the PBS app. This should be free viewing on PBS. This thing needs to run, especially through the school year. especially in high school to me. That's the U.S. and the Holocaust. Up next, the war. Now, this breaks down a lot of the war. These two to me tie together. But this one right here breaks down a lot of the Pacific Theater right here. Another one. It's kind of like the Civil War one, but you got with these guys, the letters they wrote back home. But you get to see the brutality of World War II, especially in the Pacific Theater and what was going on in the Philippines. This is a absolutely fascinating documentary also. Another one done by Ken Burns, the master of documentaries to me right here. This is another one. It's kind of brutal there. I would say more like for a teenager, high school, than more middle school. But this is another one. If you have a teenager, son, daughter, you have to make this a major purchase right here and sit down and watch it with them and talk about what was going on. And ask them to ask any questions about this particular war right here and what the things that were going on. You're going to really find out some things. These two right here, almost like back to back. You need to watch them right behind each other. And that's The War by Ken Burns. This was a special episode of KDS Reviews. I like to call it an educational episode. Remember, KDS Reviews is seen every Wednesday and every Sunday. And throughout the week, we talk about the state of Hollywood as far as movie making is. If you like this type of content, then like, subscribe, and share. What do you think about some of these educational DVDs right here? Some of these Ken Burns specials right here. Comment down below if you've seen some of these right here. This is KDS Reviews, and I will see you in the next video.